question to you guys was, as past champions, Boston has to understand what it takes, D-Fish, to get to that next level. And I don't think they realized it early on. In fact, they did a mea culpa after the game and said, we did not match their energy level to play at a championship level like Cleveland did tonight.
Yeah, and you don't understand it. You're not aware of it until you find yourself in that fire sometimes. And I thought tonight, Cleveland having the experience of being in the NBA Finals and knowing how high of a level you have to get to win a championship, they were able to get closer to that tonight, even though, like LeBron said, they didn't play their greatest basketball, but the effort, the energy, the mindset to win was there. And for Boston, they looked like they were searching a little bit for how are we going to beat this team now? We can't do the same things we did to play against Washington, to play against Chicago. What do we need to do to beat the Cavaliers? And by the time they started to figure some things out, maybe certain guys that could help them do that more effectively, it was far too late. That's the playoffs are about adjustments for individual players, for the team collectively, for the coaches, et cetera. And so now the chess match will continue. Which guys are going to play more, less, the schemes, the strategies, the X's and O's. But it always still comes back to mindset, effort, energy, the simple things about competition. It generally comes back to that.
And I thought, like, if you listen to LeBron James and Kevin Love, like they're seeking perfection. LeBron said, we didn't play our best basketball tonight. And then he rattled off about 3 or 4 opportunities that they had that they missed. Kyle Culver, he normally knocks those 2 or 3 shots down. He was open. Kevin Love then came back and said, well, I can impact the game more, without it appearing on the stat sheet. And their understanding now of how to win and how they go about winning and their approach to winning, they are so in sync in terms of their chemistry and their brotherhood with each other is what's really, in my opinion, taking them a long way in, overcoming some of those obstacles and being able to persevere throughout a long season of discontent, arguments and everything else, where people come together and they say, let's bond and let's go do this again.
And they have 2 really big motivating factors. And that's what will be interesting if they ultimately end up facing the Warriors. Both teams could have very similar motivating factors. They've each experienced losing in the NBA Finals, which there's no better motivator than coming back that next year to make right what happened wrong the year before. But then you also have the experience of knowing what it feels like to win and never wanting to feel the opposite way ever again in your career. And this Cavaliers team, they remember what it felt like in June 2016 to be NBA champions. And right now, that is the only thing that they're concerned about. 5 shots, 25 shots, 5 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
None of them care about that. They just want to be NBA champions. That's a great place to be as a team. It is the best place to be, completely selfish and making sacrifices, and that's what they're all about.
How important is it for the Cavs to continue? I mean, are they watching each other, the Warriors and the Cavs? How important is it for, the Warriors to move out to 10-0 and then the Cavs to be at 9-0?
Oh, they've been watching each other since training camp.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
When we were going against the Lakers and we went to back-to-back finals against them, right? I mean, literally preseason scores, we were looking at did they win, who played, how many minutes, so forth and so on. You are spot on. And the thing that the Cavaliers has as extra motivation is Golden State didn't go back to back. And we always felt that the only way we can separate ourselves in that era from Boston and get into where LA was to go back to back, right? Since the Celtics didn't go back to back, we had a chance to go back to back. Now, the Cavaliers are saying, and LeBron is saying, we can stamp this era here with back-to-back championships and separate ourselves from Golden State. And that's a big driver.
Right. I'm getting way out over my skis and ahead of myself here, but I do want to pay off Boston as we wrap this up. Cleveland was very top-heavy in this game. Their starters did most of the damage here. So if you're Boston, what are you expecting to see from them Friday, Zeke, in this enormously important Game 2 that's coming up for them?
I think we can see a change of lineup, in terms of maybe not playing with the 2 bigs that they experimented or played with tonight, maybe going a little smaller so they can, possibly switch, speed up the game a little bit as they did against Chicago. The danger in that is that, when you go small like that, LeBron James becomes the biggest player. But you get more energy, you get more shot attempts, and the key thing for Boston is they got to create turnovers so they can get out in transition and get some easy baskets. If you allow Cleveland to just come down, set it up, go through their offense, and don't turn them over, then it's going to be a long night for you.
Yeah, and that's where some of the athleticism from Jaylen Brown, Gerald Green, some of their guys off the bench could really help with that, is getting the deflections, disrupting the timing of the Cavaliers offense and trying to get out into the open court. They also have to limit their turnovers. They have 14 total turnovers tonight for 17 Cavaliers points. And that's a lot of points to give up to a team that's already efficient on the offensive end to begin with. The one thing I think you should also see, the Celtics have like 10 guys that they trust to play minutes. So they have their starters, but then they have Olynyk, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Rozier's played good minutes, and then also Gerald Green. So fatigue should not be an issue for this team. Every guy should be playing as hard as they possibly can play every possession. And you know what? You might not be able to play as many minutes as you would in the regular season, or you might not be able to play as many minutes as you did against the Wizards in order to beat this team, because every possession is going to require more of you in order to be successful. So look for maybe a few less minutes for some guys because they're playing harder and they're putting more effort into stopping the Cavaliers defensively, which means you can't play 38 minutes. You might only have to play 32 minutes, but then that 6 minutes that goes to that guy coming off the bench, he can play as hard as he needs to play until his stomach hurts, till he needs to come out. And that's the type of energy it's going to take for them to have a chance to beat the defending champions.
And you have to believe that Isaiah Thomas and Al Horford will be better. They're 1-2 scoring punch in postseason on Friday. Let's take a look at the series schedule for the Eastern Conference Finals. And again, Friday at TD Garden, then games 3 and 4 are played at the Q on Sunday and Tuesday. That's how it shakes out.